Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics. This episode, we're going to tackle getting the fuel system done. Okay, been running it. This is the Silverado truck tank and lines and fuel filter and everything, and it clips right up in the engine. So this is all like factory from the Silverado. And it works perfect in this Nomad, but it's not going to fit under there. I'm not going to try to make it fit under there. It's mainly I built a storage box right at the beginning of this build. So let's get under here and we'll recap some stuff. This is the original gas tank here. Fits up in this quarter panel here. This is where you put in the gas. Took that out, cleaned it out, put a little pour 15 on the bottom. I don't think it's gonna leak. 99.9% sure it's not gonna leak. Got a new line coming down, and it comes out to the steel line, which goes all the way to the front, but we're not gonna be using that. But we'll get back to this in a minute. Screwed around with the sending unit. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I had trouble with my own meter, but anyway, that's the original tank. Not going to work for fuel injection. It's just got the one hose. Doesn't have a return line. Doesn't have a vent. And I think it'd be too much trouble trying to convert this tank, especially if the sender don't work. You can't buy new ones. Could probably try to get an old one and try to rig it in there, but it'd just be taking a chance. And it'd be hell if I'm gonna be driving a car around with no gas gauge. Okay, so beginning of the build, I built this. This was in an old pickup, a junk pickup I had. I cut it in half and put it in there, and it got lids in the bed. So on the inside you can lift it up. You can put storage in here and here. These are just the air shock wires. I'm gonna put them better later on, but they work. Okay, so it's not where a tank goes, but you could put one in there if you wanted to, but I'd rather have the storage. Okay, because they got the tank here. Might as well use this tank for, but you can't buy new tanks for these either. This is 20 gallons. So you can't buy a new tank with a sender or anything like that. Okay, so the question was, how was I going to make this? What I wanted to do was use this fuel pump. Okay, that's the fuel pump and the sending unit and everything, and then the original wiring. I got 7 wires. I don't know exactly where they all. One's for sender, one's to turn a pump on. The other 5, I don't know. Probably a negative. And so this is part of the original wiring that we're going to use. This cutoff here is for like the signal lights, trailer lights, and crap. Okay, so we're going to be using the original wiring and hopefully the original pump. And that way it should work like factory. And we can do away with this vapor canister return crap. Okay, so what I needed to make the vision work was to have a little gas tank to put that fuel pump and stuff in, and then I could run the lines back. If I could find a little tank, build a little tank. Well, I'm not going to build one, but have someone build it or whatever. And then use this tank to fill up with, and then have a little pump here to run this tank to fill up a smaller tank. So that's what I was thinking. As long as I could have the original fuel pump, fuel lines, wiring, stuff like that. Because a lot of people run into problems on these LS swaps with fuel pumps, regulators, all kinds of stuff. And I don't want no problems with it. You know, I got the factory stuff, let's just use it. Instead of using, you know, these, it doesn't matter if it's a Holley or Edelbrock fuel pump, they go out. They go out quick. I don't know why. Electric fuel pumps just don't last. Well, it seems like they last longer if you got one that's inside a tank, because I guess it cools off or whatever, and then tank pump. But a lot of people with an LS swap, they'll put on an external tank, and they don't last, you know, a couple of months, and they're burning out. This car's going to be doing a lot of traveling, and we're not going to be dealing with all that crap. I watch them drag and drive events. They all have burned out fuel pumps and burned out electric fans and crap all the time. We're not gonna be dealing with any of that crap. We're not gonna be on the side of the road fixing crap, hauling around extra fuel pumps and crap. Okay, so the only room I have is right here, between here and this tank. Okay, it's 9 inches, 12 inches long, 32 inches lengthwise. Okay, so eBay has, I don't know, must be a bunch of tank places. They all look like they come from the same place, China or whatever, to build tanks. But they have every size imaginable, from 2 gallon to 30 gallon to all different shapes and sizes, except for this one that I need right here. I could get one that would come down to about here, but it's too low. So I finally found one, but it was through Jigs. Now, most of these tanks on eBay were between $89 to $129. So it was on eBay, but it was through Jigs, $209. And I thought, well, I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought it. Okay, so this is it here. 9 inches by 12 inches by, I think, 30. 29, 30, something like that. Okay, so this is built for an external pump. You got your fuel. This is your main fuel going to the engine. This is the return coming back from the engine. Then you got, I don't know exactly what rollover means, but that's your vent. And these are called 8AN fittings. Okay, this is your sending unit. It's got its own separate sending unit. Same as any car, 0 to 90 ohms. So you could actually use your factory gauge that's in your dash for this. Now, we got the truck gauge in the dash. We got the truck gauge built into this pump. We don't need that if we can make this work. Okay, then this is to fill it up with. Supposed to fit any, you know, gas pump from the any gas station. So it's $209. It ain't really instructions. It's just kind of stuff. This is some type of kit to install it. And they said in the ad for the auction on eBay that use installation kit number such and such. Well, they didn't have one. You search the number and there's nothing comes up. So I got to make this somehow. Okay, so I bought a bunch of stuff that I thought I was going to need. So what the plan is to cut these lines somewhere. Let's say, let's just say I'm going to cut them here. Cut them all there, these three, and then mount it, and then connect it from there, because obviously these aren't going to be long enough. This gas tank is right behind the cab of the truck, and I think this one's going to be a couple feet longer, plus you got the curve of the rear end to go. So anyway, we'll cut that off there and splice it in. So I got these. These are high pressure lines. They're supposed to be 3 feet each. Not sure what size I needed, so I got the two common sizes, 5/16 and 3/8. Okay, then I got a bunch, and they're you have to buy the special. You can't use regular fuel line. You got to use the high pressure stuff. This is good for 200 psi, whereas I don't know, the factory, I don't know what it is, 40 to 60, something like that. I got a bunch of special clamps, regular and crimping clamps. That's what we're going to use. We're going to use about 3 or 4 on each end to crimp them on there real good. Okay, I got I just got 2. I guess I just got 2 of them. I got this JB Weld tank glue stuff that's supposed to be fuel resistant, you know, all that stuff. I'll show you what I use that for here in a minute. Okay, these are the fittings. Like I said, we don't, if we can get this fuel pump working in this tank, we don't need any of this. Okay, but if we want to hook up the factory tank to put fuel in here, now this is 15 gallons. My factory one's 20, so actually I could have 35 gallons gas, 2 tanks. So I want to run a line and a little pump from the factory tank. I don't have to, from the factory tank to this tank. So that's what one of these fittings here will be. If we use these fittings here, we don't need these. So we'll hook that up, or fuel return, put it right there, and run a line to this tank with a pump, and then we can fill up that tank, click on a switch for a pump, and it'll fill up this tank. That's one way to fill it up, because it's only 15 gallons. Probably be okay though. And then I don't have this open right now, but in my floor, I guess I could open it up. Okay. Now in my floor for my storage boxes, I made these flaps here. And there's a storage box. So what I'm gonna do is make a flap down here. This is where the tank's gonna be, underneath here. We'll make another flap like that, so we can open it up and access this tank here, so we can fill it up. Now it's going to be a pain in the ass going to the gas station, rolling down the window, opening the tailgate to put gas in here, and then you take a chance of it spilling and all that. But that'll mostly be for emergencies. We'll most likely just fill it up through here, hit the switch, take the fuel from that tank, fill this tank up with it. But this will be in case of emergency, that little, if this gas tank ends up leaking, or the fuel pump from that tank to this goes out. Okay, and Okay, so that's that. And then these are just 2 caps. Yeah, and then we're gonna run a vent. Well, we won't need a vent if we can use that. We're not gonna be using this vent here, all this crap. But we're gonna run a vent with something, cotton or whatever, and sticking straight up so it doesn't leak out. I don't think we'll have to use this vent. So anyway, I got 2 caps, so we're going to cap off 2 of them. Okay, then we'll hook up this sending unit also, just for backup, I don't know. Okay, so this is why I needed this size. I couldn't use a small one. This is actually 14 inches from here to the bottom, but it'll push down 2 inches. Once it's out there, it can compress down 2 inches, so that makes it 12. So that makes it perfect for that. So how to get this pump and sender into that? Okay, I think what we're going to do is cut around the edge here, leave about an inch lip around here, and we're going to take the whole thing out and glue it, and then we're going to cut a hole here and glue it onto here and screw it. So we're going to use that JB Weld tank supply, glue it, and then put some screws in there, just kind of like this one has bolts. We'll just put some screws, JB Weld, that'll last. Okay, the only problem I think I'm gonna have is this sending unit comes out this way, comes out to about here at the bottom, you know, and it goes up and down for the fuel level. So that's gonna have to be pretty close. We put it, it's got to be over here and go up and down. Now, this is the problem here. This is sticking, it's sticking out. It would work perfect if it was sticking this way, but it's not, it's sticking that way. So, when you put it in, it's going to be sticking out this way. And that's going to be no good because the storage box is right here. There's no room needed over here, which I don't think we can make that work. Unless I make some specialty lines that do all 390, but I don't want to. I want to use these lines here that clip on like factory, so I know they're not going to leak. Unless we just cut off, if I just cut off that sending unit down there, and then I can turn this, and then these lines here will come down here. So we're going to do something like that. Okay, so then we can use all these lines, and like I said, cut it down here and splice it, and then run it all the way back. So I think that's enough explaining. I know that's been 19 minutes, but that's what we're going to do. That's the plan. I'd rather use that sending unit on that because it works with the truck. But, so I think the first thing is to cut a hole in this. Okay? So that's the whole plan. Will it all work? I think it'll be a lot of screwing around, but it should. I don't have no brackets, stuff to make brackets with. I may have to go to Home Depot and try to pick out something. I don't know. So, yeah, it's going to stick down. That's going to stick up probably not much higher than these. So it's going to stick up a couple inches, but that's okay. So we're gonna have to build something to two big rubber mounts right in here on the ends, so when we put it up inside the car, it hits some rubber mounts, and then we'll weld some straps on each side and then bolt into some bottom straps. Okay, I think that's it. So I'll be back when I get something accomplished. Okay guys, I cut a hole out here. I don't know if you can see in there, that's a sending unit for this. So I took the bolts off of that. It's gonna be in the way. So I'm thinking I could turn it over. Let me just pull it out so you can see it. It's like that. It's just right in the way. So I'm hoping I can turn it around here this way. If not, we're not even going to use it. But okay, so I took the pump out of there. And see here, we want to put that in there like that, and it will push down a couple inches, but it's got nothing to mount on. That's why we got to cut this area here out about an inch and glue it on so it attaches into this. Okay, so see, I wanted these to point straight out here, but I don't know. You know, I might be able to. It may be pretty close. I just hope that, I don't know if you can see the float down there. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. This has a tube, goes all the way to the bottom, about an inch off the bottom. That's the pickup. Then these don't, and of course this don't. So I'm thinking this can go that way and not be in the way of anything. So we can hook that up too, just in case. So we'll have two fuel gauges. But the main thing is this one. I don't know if I could bend. See what I mean? I need it that way. So I don't know if I could bend this a little bit, whether that'll screw anything up. I don't think it will. Let me do that. Okay, then like I said, I'm going to cut this around there and mount it. I'll be back. Okay guys, drilled a hole in the bottom of the gas tank, drained the gas into there, took 6.5 gallons. Okay, so I cut this middle out here with a Sawzall. Okay, scuffed it up a little bit there, but that's the part we're going to JB weld and put some screws. Used a little jigsaw thing too, but it wouldn't go past the, so I used a Sawzall. Okay, I had to bend this. This was actually pointing over here, so I had to bend it over here a little bit because it wouldn't, the next holes over would have been over here. So anyway, I can reach in there. It goes up and down freely. Now it's kind of close to this. It kind of goes like that. Okay, so this one here I bent too. Bent it a little bit, and if you can see, as it goes down, it's going to be right like that. So it's just going to be in here somewhere. There's nothing in the way. Well, there's a little bit at the top of that other sending unit, but it shouldn't bind up. Okay, so this piece here, what we're going to do is just like that. We're going to JB weld it around with that gas tank sealant, and then probably put like 4 screws to hold it down. Okay, that's a 5-minute stuff. I think it said 5 minutes, didn't it? Maybe not, but anyway, once that's dry, then we stick this in there. Okay, then I think we'll fill it up with probably put that 5 gallons in there, and then hook up the gas lines and electrical and see if it works. Well, it should work, but just, you know, just in case. And check the gas gauge. That thing, I don't know what that is, probably 30 gallon plus. This is supposed to be 15, so 5 gallons in this would be a third of a tank. So it should be between 1/4 and 1/2. So we can test that anyway. We're not going to hook that up yet. So anyway, I'll be back when I get that done. Okay guys, I got it in there. I put putty on the inside of them screws, screwed it down, and then I had 2 tubes, so I used the other tube around the outside. Then I put in about 5.5 gallons, and sure enough, it's reading between 1/4 and 1/2. So I think it's working. Uh-oh. Okay, so it's all working, and I tilted it a little bit this way instead of straight, because I want it to curve. That curve is going to be curving this way towards the front, and these are actually curving the opposite way, but they're very flexible, and I'll bend them gradually. But yeah, anyway, I guess the next thing is to get it mounted up in there. I'll have to go to Lowe's, see if they got some type of straps. I can't think of nothing offhand that I can use. I don't know. I could probably cut up some straps off that Silverado. I don't know. I'll figure something out. And that's the first phase there. Everything worked out perfect, easy. And we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys. Rounded up some straps. These are from the Silverado. These are from an old Dodge. Gonna kind of cut them up, try to make it work. Got some styrofoam. Starting to rain out. I'll get under here and show you. Okay, this is it sitting up there. It fits kind of snug. Ah, shit. So I'm gonna make some straps. Come down from this brace here. Come down, and then put a brace across here, and come up and mount it to here. On each side. Yeah, it got damaged a little bit in shipping. The box was beat to hell. I'm surprised this tank is as good as it is. So it's a little bit warped up there. That's what's kind of holding it up in there right now. I got that insulation I used underneath the carpet on the interior, and I want to put that on the sides keep it from rubbing and stuff like that. But okay, so here's the gas lines, 3 gas lines coming out at the top. That's where I wanted it. So it comes down here somewhere along in here. So we'll make that work. But yeah, she sticks down a couple inches farther than the storage boxes and the bumper. But see what it looks like from here. Yeah, it's sticking down a little bit. So I may put a trailer hitch. I don't know if I can fit one on there. I got one on the back of the Silverado. I don't know if I can make that work. Mount it in on these straps or something. Put a big trailer hitch in front of it. I'll show you that here in a minute when I bring it up. So anyway, I'm going to get to work on that. That styrofoam is to put on the top to keep it from, you know, stop it at the top. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, here's the trailer hitch off the Silverado. Fully adjustable. Got a bunch of holes here so you can move it in and out and fit the frame. So I think, and then you can move it up to here if you need it. Raise it up, move it out. Okay, so I think I'm gonna mount that on the frame rails right here. Drill some holes and have it come down. This bumper's not perfect. I had to bang it out because it was bent in, hitting the tailgate. But right now I believe it's down a little bit, so it needs to come up. But it doesn't matter. All I want is this trailer hitch to cover at least to the bottom of the tank, maybe about an inch lower. That way it protects it. If you get hit, it ain't gonna damage the tank. Unless you get really, really hit hard by a semi or something, but and it doesn't matter how low it is. You get those adjustable, I got a bunch of them, little adjustable things. Put a ball up here if I want to tow something. But anyway, let me mess with that. It's starting to rain again. Okay guys, took a lot longer than I thought. Okay, there's the hitch, how it looks. Okay, got it. 2 big old 3/4 inch bolts right there, and there, right through the frame. I raised it up to these three instead of that. Okay, same on the other side. And I just now fit the gas tank up in there, and it looks like it's right level with this. So I don't know, I guess I could just make the strap from here make a bend right there. But yeah, I think that's it. It's just sitting up there snug. Okay, yeah, it's up on jack stands. It's gonna sit kind of low, but I got air shocks, and I'm gonna be putting bigger tires on the back. So anyway, let me I'll be back later with some more updates. Okay guys, I'll give you an update. I put some styrofoam, just kind of taped it into place. That's going to go up against the floorboard. I'm not going to hook the line from this tank to this tank. This is kind of what I got, but if you put that on there, it sticks up way too high. So I don't want this thing hanging another inch or two down. I mean, I got it at maximum where I want it right now. As you've seen, it's even with that trailer hitch. So I did order another one that comes straight off of here, but I don't think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be too tall too. So we're not gonna hook that up for now. This is the vent. I just left this cap on there and taped over it. And rollover means just that. You're supposed to put a ball vent in there on top of it. Sticks up here in case the car rolls over and the gas don't leak out. But we're not going to worry about that. That's just for aftermarket race application. Okay, so I just kind of taped that on there because I don't have another one of these, which I ordered another one of these caps. Okay, I had to extend these wires for the fuel pump. So they would fit, and then I cut the fuel lines and I got them all hooked up. I cut them off here. And I'll show you underneath here. I don't know how good you can see. Okay, I just hooked those two up. The other one's the vent. This one's the vent. I'm not done with that yet. There's no pressure on there. These are the high pressure ones for the going to the engine and returning. And I just kind of got these loose here because the emergency brake cable goes right there, so I don't want the emergency brake cable. I'm going to do that before I button this up, and then put this in a good spot. I'm going to get another fuel filter too. And like I said, I'm doing this because I need to get a fuel filter for a Silverado, get a fuel pump for a Silverado. You don't have to go through all aftermarket crap that, you know, if you're stuck on the side of the road, nobody's got it. You got a special order, some friggin' Holly pump or whatever. There's all the factory stuff. Okay, so we're gonna connect those red lines to these two here, and as you see, I had them triple clamped. I got these type of clamps that crimp, and these. So we're putting 3 of them on each line, so it shouldn't leak. Okay, so I'm ready to stick it up in there here in a little bit. We're going to cut a hole for this flap on the inside of the car on the floor. So we just lift it up, and then we can fill it up with gas. Later on down the road, I'll do what I said and get a little cheap. I can get a little pump for like 12 bucks. They're like 12 to 20 bucks for a little 12 volt low volume pump, and we'll get it and get some gas lines and stuff. But I don't know if I can use these. Like I said, they'll stick up too high. I may have to go right in the side here and drill another hole and put a fitting inside there that bolts on the inside and then comes out from here to that tank, to the fuel pump. So may do that later. I'm not too concerned about it now. It's 15 gallons. I mean, it'll get you down the road there quite a ways. So that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna cut that hole, stick it up in there, and then we're gonna go with build some ground straps here out of that stuff. But I'm not gonna have to do too much to it. It's not gonna have to be real long or anything. Okay, so anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, I cut out a hole for the to get at the gas cap. Okay, I'm gonna put a little hinge on there, cut the carpet around there so you can open and close it. Okay, so I'm gonna weld a little lip on there so it stops. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, here's the gas. Little cap, little lid there. You can just undo the... I could have made it a little bit bigger, but it'll be good enough. That's it there, that's where you fill up your gas. Okay, so I'm just going to build the brackets now to mount it in there and hook up them gas lines. I'll be back. Okay guys, I got all the fuel lines. Okay, I got the lines and the wires coming out here. They're just kind of loose. I didn't want to really tighten them up and bind them up because of these hard plastic. They move, but okay, so got to run it all along there, and then up here around the shock and the coil. It's kind of where the old gas line went, right here. Here's the old steel gas line, so I kind of zip tied it to that. I got it a little bit loose here because I may have to change these over to the adjusting trailing arms. So I kind of want to get at that bolt. So I kind of got that a little bit loose, not much. Okay, so it goes down. I got it loose here because the emergency brake cable still. I'm missing. Okay, let me switch positions here. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna make some straps. Still trying to figure out how to do it. I got the straps. Okay, I made this little template. This isn't the one holding it in, but I think it's something like this. Go in that hole there, and then like this, and then screw it into here, and there. Okay, but out of stronger steel. One there and one there. I think that'll probably hold it. Okay, I haven't made them yet. I'm about to. Okay, so I'm missing the little hook. I can't find one anywhere. I don't feel like crawling underneath some cars and looking. But there's a little hook that holds this cable over here. I think along that cross member. So I kind of need that out of the way. And I was waiting on my drive shaft loop. It's going to go from here over to here, and then we're going to button that up to it and probably mount this to it with a little hook. If I can't find one, I'm going to buy one. It's they're not very much. So I don't know if this is going to hit up here. See, hit these lines. They might. So that's why I kind of got this loose here. I just kind of temporarily zip tied it up. But it should be all right to test it here in a little while. I need to put some gas in. That's a new filter. I just put the new filter on there. Okay, and there's all the lines. That one with the one clamp, that's just the vent line. Okay, this is the drive shaft loop kit. Just came in the mail. All nuts and bolts. So that goes around the drive shaft. I don't know, something like that. A bunch of different positions. So we're going to figure this out and bolt that in there. Probably tie that one brake line to this side somewhere. Okay, let me show you that vent. This here's the big one. It's a high pressure going to the engine. This is the return high pressure. Then this is just the vent. That's just regular fuel line. So we got that coming up, and then I teed it off right here where those two clamps are. So one goes up to where it's supposed to in the pump, and then this one here is teed off, and I got it going way up here with a little end on it, with some cotton in there. So that's kind of just sticking up there higher than the tank, and just, I don't know, just in case it gets too much pressure. But it should work. Okay, so let me get that drive shaft loop on there and button up that transmission cable and see if I can do something with that brake cable, emergency brake cable, and get that done up there, and then we'll work on these brackets. So I'll be back. Okay guys, I made these brackets here. Okay, they're gonna go. I lined them up with these two holes on the trailer hitch. They're basically gonna go like something like that, and bolt it there, and then bolt it up in this hole here. And then the other side, I know they're kind of, this one will go here. I think that'll hold the tank okay, but I may put some type of straps around that later. But anyway, let me get those bolted on there and I'll be back. Okay guys, I got it bolted in. That's it there. I put a little piece of carpet in between both of them. I used a jack with a piece of wood to jack it up, get it real tight before tightening the bolts. So I think that'll work. I thought about using some of these type of ratcheting straps just for extra, I don't know. I think that's good enough for now. I'll figure out what I want to do afterwards. All I got to do now is put some gas in it and test it out. Let me get underneath. I forgot. It's the next day, so I forget even what I did on the last clip. But I put in the drive shaft loop. I don't think I showed you that. I couldn't get that top piece in there. It just wouldn't work. But these are in there real good, especially that bolt, that bolt there. And there's plenty of room for the bottom. And then I zip tied the transmission line around there. I still got to find a little hook type thing to hook that emergency brake cable over there, tighten it up, and then I'm going to tighten up these lines here. I just didn't want it in the way. I think that is going to be kind of right in the way there, but we're going to have to tighten up these lines here somewhere closer to the floor. Maybe drill some holes and put some clamps in there. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, put about 6 gallons of gas in there. It's running, no leaks. I like to get that fuel filter up a little bit higher, but it's about the best I can do for now. I wrapped some hose around that emergency brake cable so it wouldn't rub the gas lines, and it's also got a big hard plastic deal there with the lines on top of it. So but anyway, I think that's about it. Everything seems to work. So we'll wrap up this video, and like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. Bottom right hand corner of the screen, it's free, doesn't cost anything. We got next video, I think we're going to put the steering wheel on and horn and do a bunch more little stuff. I got a new dimmer switch. I got a bunch of new parts actually. I got this windshield washer or wiper motor. But bunch of little stuff. So we'll do that next video, I believe, and after that I think we may build a console for it. We're gonna incorporate this in there, and a dual cup holder thing, and that'll be coming up in a couple of videos. Oh yeah, I got a new brake pedal and emergency brake pedal cover for them there. Oh, and I guess I had a brain fart when I was doing this header wrap. I forgot that they make spark plug boots, heat. So I got these deals here. Go over the spark plug wires. What other stuff do I have? That's the dimmer switch here. Put that in there and do a little bit more wiring work. Okay, so I think that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next video.